everybody, and welcome to another video here on Philly Sports Network. You know what day it is. It's Sunday. What? Hang on. Whoa. Sorry. You mean the Eagles have cut 5 players on a Sunday?
She said to be wearing a white chiffon scarf to help me spot her. So, oh, for fuck's sake.
David?
Huh? Yep, hiya.
On a Sunday fun day, they've cut 5. The cheek of it, mate. The cheek of that team. Oh, it's not even Sunday fun day anymore. It's just Sunday. It's Sunday sad day. They've just cut 5. What am I meant to do? It's Sunday fun day. Welcome to another video. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. If you enjoy this content, make sure you leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think about today's move, because as we know, the Eagles have to get their roster down to 80 before training camp, and they started chipping away. They started chopping some wood. And my guy Trevor Williams was cut, which, look, folklore comes out. Trevor Williams is cut. The Phillies are choking leads. It's not a good week, and I've now ruined that joke for Twips tomorrow, so this video's off to a flyer. But along with Khalil Tate and Keegan Render, the Eagles were down to 87. And Sunday evening, they decided to waive 5 more players. So here is everything you need to know about the players waived and, more importantly, what it means for the team. All right, let's start with the wide receiver position. They waived 2, which is pretty important because they had 13 wide receivers. Out of a 90-man roster, okay, 13 of them were wide receivers, which is a bit too much in my opinion. So they cut another 2, so there's still 11. I mean, if you love wide receivers, there's still 11. Don't worry, there's plenty there. It looked as though that these 2 guys were going to be the next in line. The writing was sort of on the wall after Khalil Tate was waived. It was Shelton, Gibson and Marcus Green. He was actually taken by the Eagles in the 5th round of the 2017 draft, but really struggled to kick on. They eventually cut him and then he came back. And I mean, his biggest contribution to the Eagles was a pass interference in the wildcard round against the Seahawks, which, don't get me wrong, was brilliant, but I'd rather a reception. And it's a shame because I was really rooting for the West Virginia product. He was a very speedy wide receiver, shock, coming out of college, and I would have liked to see him take that next step, but unfortunately it wasn't to be, and yeah, he takes one on the chin here. Not like that, alright? The same can be said for Green, who was a 2019 6th round draft pick of the Atlanta Falcons, spent the entire of last season with the Eagles on their practice squad, and from there it's always going to be an uphill climb. I mean, the cutoff point for this roster is Greg Ward Jr. I mean, that's sort of like the absolute lowest he's got to be now, with Hightower, with Goodwin, with Watkins, with Rager, with Jackson, with JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I mean, that's 6, and we haven't even really kind of put those into an order yet, so it's going to be tough for any of those outside receivers looking in, and the Eagles just have to trim the fat a little bit there. It's a bit of a shame. The next one, though, is going to cause a few controversial opinions because I don't think anyone saw this coming this soon. But the reality is that you may remember he suffered a torn ACL on the final play of last season. I'm talking about Daeshon Hall, the defensive end formerly of the Carolina Panthers, someone who exploded for the Eagles in preseason last year. We're talking 4 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. Like, he was just a class above everyone else on the team in preseason, and that didn't really translate to the regular season. He had 1 sack against the Jets, but then, I mean, who didn't? I mean, Orlando Scandrick got a pick 6 that game, and that should say all you need to know. But the move does come as a little bit of a shock because depth at the position is minimal. The Eagles arguably have more depth at punter than they do at defensive end, and they've only got Super Cam Johnson and his iron leg at punters, so it's not great. So let's just say, for instance, that Daeshon Hall coming off an ACL maybe would have had to take training camp very, very slowly, wouldn't be at 100%, could have been someone that they'd stash an IR later down the road. Now they need that roster spot. I understand it, but they should have foreshadowed that and maybe made a move. Maybe, I don't know, brought back Vinny Curry, maybe looked at someone like Everson Griffin, I don't know. But the fact that right now, beneath Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett and Josh Sweat, you've got Sharif Miller and his 2 special team snaps, Casey Toohill, who's a rookie, and Jannard Avery, who I would love to see break out. The Eagles traded a 4th round pick for him last year. I would love to see him break out. He got a great debut and then flatline the rest of the season. So I would personally be all for Jannard Avery lining up a defensive end, getting acclimatized in this system. Maybe that's why they haven't brought anyone back. They're assuming some very, very positive intent there, and I don't think, if we're honest, that's a reality. Like, it stings to lose Daeshon Hall, but if they knew they were going to lose him when there's a chance he would be able to go for a portion of the season anyway, free him up beforehand, put him on IR, get that spot to someone else, bring in a veteran. You don't leave it until a week before training camp and go, why did no one tell us he hurt his leg? Why did no one tell us he tore his ACL? Hey? It's just not a good look, if I'm honest. And I mean, I hope all the best for Daeshon Hall. He was a great character in Philadelphia. He was one of the preseason heroes. There's always one. There's always a Paul Turner. And I think that Daeshon Hall definitely won that award last year. Defensive tackle Albert Huggins was next on the list. And he might need a little bit of hugging after this because it sucks to go. But depth at defensive tackle is actually really strong. I mean, if we factor in Malik Jackson into that, he could well be someone that flexes outside to defensive end, maybe leaning on from what I said earlier about a lack of depth. Maybe they want Jackson to play defensive end and negate that lot in Vinny Curry. You've got Cox, you've got Javon Hargrave, you've got Jackson, you've got Hassan Ridgway. That's your base four. That's a very, very stacked position. I can't see many other people catching on. You've got Anthony Rush there, my big boy out of UAB. I love that guy. Obviously Bruce Hector as well. I can't see Albert Huggins doing too much. So that one kind of made sense, unfortunately. And then finally was cornerback Traymon Smith. And the Eagles again trimming the fat. I mean, I don't know. Like, I would have rather they kept Trevor Williams still. And I'm definitely not bitter about it. It's fine. But he hasn't really played much defense. And in 2018, he was sort of the Chiefs' primary kick returner. He averaged over 26 yards per return, which is great. But even now, that skill set seems a bit of a niche because, well, the Eagles have a million wide receivers who can run the ball very, very quickly, and it doesn't seem needed to keep a corner on the roster just for special teams plays, so it doesn't make too much sense. As for what comes next for the Eagles, they still need to cut 3 players by the time training camp rolls around. Training camp kicks off on Tuesday, and I don't know what our coverage is going to look like because, well, media can't go, and the media that can go isn't allowed to say what happens, which is bloody brilliant. But there will be some more film rooms. We've got a Casey Toohill, we've got a Sean Bradley film room piece coming up in the works for you guys. We've got a couple of free agent stuff as well, like a closer look at Jatavis Brown. This week in Philadelphia sports tomorrow, we've got some watch-alongs for all the Philadelphia sports games coming back this week. So basically, just stick around Philly Sports Network. We're going to be ramping up our coverage as all the sports bombard us at once. PhillySportsNetwork.com is the place to go if you're not already. It'd be amazing if you could check it out. You get daily articles from myself, from all of our writers. It's a good vibe. And it's Sunday. It should be fun day. Have some fun. Late night cup of tea. Read an article. Job's a good one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'm sorry this wasn't a very fun Sunday fun day. It's heartbreaking. I'm going to go and listen to Taylor Swift's new album and cry about it. I'll see you soon.